everyone treats micromanagement like the dirty word.
Hi, my name's Devon. Today I own several multi-million-dollar companies. We started with $5,000 in a credit card. I don't know the easy way, I only know the hard way.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast, where I give straightforward advice for the entrepreneur in all of us. I'm Devon Dickinson, and today I'm going to talk about it's not micromanagement, it's just management. And you say, well, what the heck does that mean? Well, listen, if you've been around the business world for long, you know that everyone treats micromanagement like the dirty word. Like, oh, you said, you're micromanaging me. Don't micromanage me. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not to be micromanaged. Blah, blah. Everyone hates it. And I'm going to challenge you and tell you that most of the time when people say, don't micromanage me, what they actually mean is don't manage me. Because I'm going to tell you, what's the definition of management? It's pretty simple. Management is holding people accountable to the job that they are responsible for. I know I'm not supposed to end in a preposition, and so, but that's pretty darn close to Webster's definition of management right there. Simply holding people accountable for the job that they're supposed to be doing. And that's it, right? And so when we hold people accountable to the job that they're supposed to be doing, and people start to accuse you of micromanagement and say, no, I'm not micromanaging you. I'm just managing you. And just because someone accuses you of micromanagement doesn't mean that you need to back off and that it's all of a sudden your fault. Really, our job is to hold people accountable. And this is true. And so if you're, depending on the size of your organization, if it's you and, 2 or 3 employees, then you're the person in charge of watching over each of these employees. And really, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly, whatever the cadence is, but it's inspecting what you expect out of those employees. That's simply managing them to the job that they're accountable for. And so when we think about that and you think about as the organization grows, you typically have, the CEO, the president, the owner, whatever that is. And then you have, whether it's C-levels, and then you have directors, and then from directors, maybe you have managers, and managers, you have people that FTEs that they're accountable for, full-time employees, whatever you want to call it. But as the levels go down, you're going to find that there's definitely positions that every single day they are accountable for doing A, B, C processes X number of times. And is it micromanagement to ask and to have a report that shows whether that person did A, B, C X number of times? I don't think so. I think that's simply management. And then as you go up the chain, is it unreasonable to ask that manager what their team did? I don't believe so. That's not micromanagement. That's just the manager's job is to make sure that the people do their job. And so therefore, is it unreasonable to ask to see the manager's numbers? That's not micromanagement. That's simply management and accountability, right? And then so on and so forth. And so what happens is you build an organization of accountability, which is wonderful. And someone wants to accuse you of micromanagement. All of a sudden you freak out and go, oh, geez, I don't want to be a micromanager. And so you let the accountability go, and then your company is a train wreck. Right. And so we can't be afraid of that word micromanagement, because most of the time it simply means management and holding people accountable to the job that they're supposed to be doing. Right. And so I had a conversation with one of my leaders not long ago, and she was a little frustrated because as she has probably, like I said, she probably has 4 levels deep, within her division of the org chart. And, she's responsible, 50, 60 people, I don't know, whatever it is. But anyways, what she was finding out is that the people who were doing kind of the ABC processing weren't doing it the way that she wanted it to be done. And so I was like, I said, well, let's look at the reports. And she's like, well, I got to be honest, that's part of the problem. We haven't been doing that. And she's like, and I got to be honest, Devon, I felt like if we did that, we were going to be micromanaging these people. And she was not fighting me. We were having a really good conversation about this. And she's like, I realized that we should have established, this kind of accountability and structure long ago. And as the conversation developed, we were talking about how once we put that in place, those people, especially entry-level people that are learning a job and need that high degree of accountability, how much more secure they feel in their job, because all of a sudden they know very clearly what their job is and if they are meeting expectations. And so when you put in place these high degrees of accountability, it actually makes people feel more secure in what they're doing. Now, the people who feel insecure are the ones who aren't doing the job and have all of the excuses and then want to say that you're micromanaging them. Listen, don't be afraid of those conversations. You want to have those conversations because you can put a little dot right there and you can go, I need to watch that person because I do not think that person is going to make it within my organization. Everyone else, I believe, is going to feel secure and empowered to understand how they should do their job and do it well, and if they are or they are not doing it well. I'm going to give you an example. So when I was 16 years old, I got my very first job at McDonald's, $3.16 an hour. I was super proud. I had my Mick hat on. I had my Mick shirt on. I had my Mick pants on, and it was my very first day. They taught me how to use the cash register. I was going to take people's orders. I was going to give them their cheeseburgers. So I sat there. It got my very first customer, and the store was kind of dead, right? But the person comes in, they're like, I'll have a cheeseburger, a small fry, and a medium Coke, right? So got it all, gave it to them, didn't spill, pretty impressed with myself. Set everything on the counter, took their money, made the change, perfect change, gave it back to them. They walked away a happy Mick customer. Well, I was standing there like, oh, okay, well, I did my job. And I'm just standing there. Nobody's else in the store. I'm just standing there waiting for like another customer to walk in. And all of a sudden my manager walks by and they look at me and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean what I'm doing? They're like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, standing here waiting for a customer. I just, served somebody and now I'm waiting for the next customer. And they looked me in the eyes and they said, clean something. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I could do that. So, I then proceeded to grab, a spray bottle and a rag and started cleaning something. And then they came back later and said, hey, yeah, if no one's in the store, you don't have anything to do, your second job is to clean something. After that, if you literally have cleaned everything, come and see me and I'll give you something else to do. And I was like, okay, great. And you know what? I felt secure because, in all honesty, just standing there, staring at nobody in line, I didn't feel secure. I felt like, what's my job? What am I supposed to be doing? And once I was addressed, I didn't feel micromanaged. I feel like I knew what my job was. First thing to do is take care of the customer first. Second thing is, if there's no customers, clean something. Third thing is, if all the cleaning's been done, go and see my manager and ask for something else to do. And I would do that, and then they'd have me take out the garbage or whatever else. But I felt secure in that I knew how to do my job. I didn't feel micromanaged. I felt secure in what my job was. And so as leaders and as entrepreneurs, we have to understand, listen, people want to know what their expectations are. By simply asking for numbers and holding people accountable, you are not micromanaging. You are merely being a good manager. Now, if people don't like it, you do need to assess your style. You do need to understand, hey, am I being overly nitpicky? How is my approach? Stylistically, how is my tone? But literally at the end of the day, we should not feel ashamed for asking people what work they did versus what their expectations were, and holding them accountable for that. That's just great management. So listen, it's a little, in the details here. And I know a lot of times we as entrepreneurs like to stay at that 30,000 feet. We like to just say, hey guys, here's the vision, run and do this vision. And then we expect everybody to know how to get there. But that's not the reality. The reality is that we have to not only cast the vision, we also have to give everyone what they need to execute on so that they can succeed. And then once we give them the plan, we come back and expect what we expect. And remember, management's pretty simple. It's simply, holding people accountable for the job that they're required to be doing. Listen, I hope this helps. I know a lot of times we don't like those uncomfortable situations. A lot of times we don't like to dig that far down, that deep in our organizations. But great leaders, great entrepreneurs, great operators, that's what you do. And remember, it's not micromanagement, it's just management. Thanks for joining us on the Whiteboard Entrepreneur, where I give straightforward advice for the entrepreneur and all of us. I'm Devon Dickinson. Have a great day.